In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, dear friends and fellows, we had decided to do certain things. We are doing certain things which are useful, which are beneficial in one way or the other, and we want to continue that. But on a given day, we are unwilling to do that. We feel lazy, and because of laziness, we are not prepared psychologically to carry on that particular task. It could be a walk at any time in a day, it could be prayers, it could be recitation of the glorious Quran, it could be visiting the aging parents, it could be brushing the teeth before going to bed, it could be any useful beneficial routine, but we are unwilling to do it on a given day, either because we are lazy or because we are somehow disheartened. We are having a low spirit, low morale, any reason other than feeling sick, any reason other than if there is any sort of danger or any other sort of loss, one type of it or the other, then we should skip it. Rather, it becomes mandatory, compulsory to skip it. If there isn't any sort of danger, either of becoming sick or due to any safety measures, then I think that we need to continue it. But we are unwilling. I am lazy, I am unwilling, unable to do that. The right thing to do is that make an intention, intend to do it in a token manner, you know, means a very little bit of it. Obviously, not the whole of the quota. What we are doing in a routine basis, not that much of it, but a very little amount of it, dear friends. I think this very little amount of it will help us a lot in completing the quota even on that particular day, even in that particular attempt, my dear friends. So never decide to skip it, because skipping it unnecessarily, it is bad for us, because tomorrow we might not be willing to do that, and it will not be able to continue that very useful, very beneficial routine. So, my dear friends, it is very useful, it is very beneficial, even if at all we are doing it in a token way, in a token manner, means a very little bit of it. Why? Because this will help us in continuing the routine, in continuity, and this continuity and consistency matters a lot. Rather, I have every you know I am of the view that it plays a decisive role as far the consistency is concerned, as for the continuity is concerned. I think it plays a decisive role. So it should not be skipped at all. It should not be left undone at all totally. Do not skip it totally. Do not undo it totally, my dear friends. I need to do that. Do it once we leave our place, because we are going to do it a very little bit of it even then, my dear friends. What does happen that there is high probability that we will complete the quota, because that laziness is no more there once we have decided. to do a little bit of it. And once we have left our place, our seat, because we want to start it, because we want to do a little bit of it. So this is how we can do, you can maintain our consistency. That is how we can become a consistent enough, a persistent enough, if at all there is a little bit of difficulty, but we should continue it. But if at all there are certain amounts of dangers in it, whether it is a kind of health risk because I'm feeling temperature, raised temperature, and I am of the view that if at all I go out for the sake of walk, it will be further raised, then I think it is not wise at all, not wise at all to go out. It is important to take rest as much as needed. And if at all there is any sort of other danger, any sort of other risk, even then we can discontinue it for some of the time, as long as the risk is there, and we can restart it once we do feel safe in it, my dear friends. This is how we can establish the consistency. This is how we can maintain a quota of doing something else, even if we have done a little bit of it, it will help us a lot. Even if at all we have done only a token of it, it will help us a lot in doing it the very next day, in doing it the very next day. It will be a lot more helpful, my dear friends. That is how I think, this is how I have experimented and I have tried and trusted this method of developing the consistency, and developing, being able to do something good on a consistent basis. That is something really really helpful, really really useful. As I earlier said, that it does play a kind of constant decisive role, and it will inshallah help us a lot in becoming a winner person.